Good morning. It was a late Sunday afternoon in the middle of October, a cloudy and particularly chilly day, much like this one, as fall weather had just begun to sink in. I had spent all weekend at the baseball diamond with one game on Saturday and 2 games leading up to this Sunday's championship under my belt. Many of you may be thinking, baseball in the fall? Isn't that a spring and summer sport? Yes, you are correct. For most, the season usually wraps up around July or August, but for those of us who wanted to play at a high level, we continued playing travel baseball well into October. I had played fall ball, as it is known in the baseball world, since I was around 8 or 9. And from April until October, almost all of my weekends looked identical to this one, spent on baseball fields all across the country. This weekend, however, was no ordinary weekend. My cleats sunk into the damp dirt as I stepped over the foul line and took the mound, firing in my warm-up pitches. The team we were up against was the infamous Bucks County Generals. By the time of this championship game at the end of our fall ball season, the Generals had become our arch rivals. We would see them in the playoffs of almost all of our tournaments, as they were another formidable travel ball team in the area, and the winner of our matchups was always a toss-up. As I glanced over at the black and red jerseys of my opponents, I geared up and threw my last warm-up pitch with some extra oomph, and it slammed into the back of the catcher's mitt with a whack. Thinking back on it now, I've always had a subconscious hatred for the red and black, which has certainly transferred over to my utter disdain for our rival Lawrenceville. Anyway, their leadoff hitter strutted to the plate with a smug look on his face and a bright orange bat in hand. He dug into the box and prepared to face me as the umpire yelled, "Play ball." The first pitch was a strike, followed by a ball, and on the third pitch, which I can still remember was a changeup, he laced a double into the gap. Upon coasting into second base, he glared over at his dugout with a big smile and began making this gesture, as if he was eating soup out of a bowl. Many of you may be thinking, wow, how could this kid be such a cocky jerk at such a young age? And if you are not alone. Just ask my mom. Despite this early setback, I settled into the game, which just like always, turned out to be a dogfight. We went back and forth with the Generals, trading blows, all the while I commanded the helm of the pitcher's mound. The last inning came around, and with the lead and 2 outs in the inning, I had the opportunity to shut the door and win the game with 1 more out. In an almost cinematic fashion, the leadoff batter, otherwise known as Soup Kid in my household, waltzed to the plate with the same swagger he glided into second base with in the first inning. Only this time, he had no idea he'd be served a steady diet of fastballs. The first pitch whizzed by him, strike 1 looking. The second pitch beat his bat to the punchline, strike 2 swinging. I stared down toward the plate, and all I could see was the number 1 flash down from my catcher's hand, signaling fastball. I could hear nothing, smell nothing, taste nothing. I was in the zone. I let go of the pitch, and I can remember to this day the arrogant, boastful leadoff hitter of the Bucks County Generals slam his bat down in defeat as he swung through and missed the high fastball I had just delivered to him. My senses all came back to me, and I was overwhelmed with the sounds of thunderous cheers and the sights of my teammates and my mom imitating the soup gesture. I tell you this story because in this moment, and so many others on the baseball diamond, I have never felt more alive. I love the game of baseball and everything it has taught me and exposed me to, including adversity, competitiveness, hard work, and friends for a lifetime. However, my baseball journey was not all successful bliss. From the early age of 10, the expectations of my performance were astronomically high, as I was one of the best players on my team and the assistant coach's son. Instead of receiving the coddling of the traditional coach's kid, I was met with excess punishment and a higher decibel level of yelling after a mess up. Don't get me wrong, I would rather have the latter when it comes to the coach's kid treatment. However, the constant fear of messing up replaced my love of the game with underlying and subconscious stress. There came a point where a bowling ball found perpetual existence in my stomach every time I stepped onto the field. With my heart no longer fully in it, going into my fourth form year, I decided that I did not want to pursue baseball at the collegiate level. This decision was a hard one for both me and my parents, who had provided so much support throughout my entire baseball career, with countless hours on the road, at the field, playing catch, taking me to lessons, and in the laundry room scrubbing out the dirt from my pants. I have realized now, though, that I can enjoy the relationship that I have with baseball without committing to the rigorous schedule that is college baseball. I have given my 110% effort throughout my Hill career, as I try to do with everything, and I hope that I have been a role model on and off the field for the younger ball players that have come through the program. Not pursuing an athletic scholarship shifted my focus solely to academics in terms of opening up opportunities for college. As many of you who have been with me in an academic setting know, I bring the same fervor and focus to the classroom that I do to the field. My dad always said, your brain will get you further than your arm. And so, much like on the diamond, perfection was the only acceptable outcome in my classes. I will be attending the University of Richmond in the fall, and I am super excited for this next step in my journey, but I wasn't always, and has been anything but smooth. I sat at my desk on February 2nd, staring at the blank scholarship section of my Richmond portal with a million thoughts running through my head. What could I have done better? What was the point of putting in so much time and effort? I have wrestled with these thoughts, and through countless conversations with my friends, my parents, and my advisor, Mrs. Neese, this is what I've come up with. The countless hours I have put into achieving such high academic prowess were not wasted. They have set me up for success in anything that I do, wherever I go. Scholarship or not, I am going to thrive at Richmond and continue to do what I have been doing for the past 4 years, because frankly, I don't know any other way. I have realized that it isn't receiving awards or scholarships that gives me satisfaction. No, it is knowing that I put everything I had into something, that I left it all out on the field at the end of the night. Who wants to live life half-heartedly? Who wants to lay on their deathbed and think to themselves, I could have done more or I could have been more? I know that I don't, and going through this experience has helped me rediscover why I go out there and give it my all, why I spend my free periods in the library, why I spend an extra hour taking batting practice, even though I'm not going to play college baseball. I love life, and I think life is best enjoyed at 100%. So, I hope you can find an area of your life where you can put in more effort, whether it has to do with academics, athletics, or most importantly, relationships, and reap the benefits that you and only you can sow. Thank you.